Imagine a sunny afternoon. The sky is blue, the sun is shining, and everything feels happy and calm. Birds are singing their little songs, tweet, tweet, tweet. The grass in every yard is cut short and neat, like someone drew a perfect green carpet over the ground. It's a quiet little neighborhood, the kind where nothing big ever happens, or so people think. That's where we meet Jake. He's just a regular guy, or at least that's what everyone sees when they look at him. He's got messy brown hair, a friendly smile, and a big box in his arms because he just moved in. Yep, Jake is the new kid on the block, and he's trying to keep things easy and simple. He doesn't want any trouble. He just wants to unpack his stuff, set up his new house, and maybe make a few friends. But here's the secret. Jake isn't as boring as he looks. Nope, not even close. He's got something sneaky hiding up his sleeve. It's not a big thing, not like a magic wand or a superhero cape. It's something small, something you might not even notice if you walked by. But oh boy, this little thing is about to shake up the whole street. It's going to turn this peaceful place upside down, like flipping a pancake in a pan. Can you guess what it is? Don't worry if you can't, I'll tell you soon. For now, just picture Jake standing there looking all normal, while something wild is brewing in his head. Let me ask you something before we go any further. Have you ever met someone who seemed super plain and ordinary until they did something totally surprising? Like maybe a quiet kid at school who turned out to be the best at soccer, or a shy friend who sang a song so loud it made everyone cheer. Stick with me because Jake about to do something like that. He's going to show everyone who's really in charge, and it all starts with something tiny, a smart plug. Yep, you heard me right, a smart plug. It sounds weird, doesn't it? It's just a little gadget you stick in the wall to turn things on and off with your phone. How could something so small cause so much trouble? Keep reading and you'll find out. Let's set the scene a little more. Jake's new house is small but cozy. It's got white walls, a red door, and a little porch where he can sit and watch the world go by. The street he's on is called Maple Lane, and it's lined with houses that all look kind of the same, neat and tidy, with flowers in the yards and bikes leaning against garages. Kids play outside sometimes, riding scooters or tossing a ball. Neighbors wave to each other and say hi. It's the kind of place where everyone knows everyone and they like it that way. Jake's happy to be here. He's got a big grin on his face as he carries boxes inside. He's thinking about how nice it'll be to settle in, maybe put up some lights outside or plant a little garden. But not everyone is happy Jake. Here. See, Maple Lane has rules, lots of them. There's this group called the HOA. It stands for Homeowners Association. They're like the bosses of the neighborhood. They tell people what they can and can't do, like no pink fences, or cut your grass every week. Most folks don't mind the rules too much. They keep things looking nice. But there's one person who loves the rules more than anyone else. Her name's Karen, and she's the head of the HOA. Oh boy, Karen is something else. She's got sharp eyes that spot every little thing that's wrong, and she's always carrying a clipboard to write it all down. If your dog barks too loud or your trash can sits out too long, Karen's on it like a hawk swooping down on a mouse. Jake doesn't know about Karen yet. He's too busy unpacking. He's got his couch set up, his TV plugged in, and now he's outside messing with something small in his hands. It's that smart plug I told you about. It's just a little white box with a plug on one side and a spot to stick something else in on the other. Jake thinks it's cool. He can use his phone to turn his outdoor lights on and off even if he's not home. Pretty neat, right? He sticks it into the wall outside his house, plugs in some string lights, and steps back to look at it. The lights blink on, twinkle, twinkle. Jake smiles. He likes how it looks. It makes his new place feel like home. But across the street, someone's watching. Karen's standing at her window, peeking through the curtains. Her eyes narrow. What's that thing Jake's plugging in? It doesn't look like a normal plug. It looks different, and different is bad in Karen's book. She grabs her clipboard and scribbles something down. New guy, strange plug, not allowed, she mutters to herself. She's already decided Jake's trouble and she hasn't even met him yet. Poor Jake has no idea what's coming. He's just happy with his lights, thinking about how they'll look at night. He doesn't know Karen's about to make his life a whole lot harder. Let's talk about Jake for a second. He's not a loud guy. He doesn't yell or show off. He's the kind of person who listens more than he talks. If you saw him walking down the street, you'd think, oh, he's nice, probably boring. And that's what everyone on Maple Lane thinks too. The neighbors wave at him, say hi, but they don't really notice him much. He's just the new guy with the red door. They don't ask questions. They don't wonder what's in his boxes or why he moved here. They figure he's just another regular person like them, but that's where they're wrong. Jake got a spark in him, a quiet little spark that's about to light up everything. Now let's zoom in on that smart plug again. It's so small you could hold it in your hand and hide it behind your back. It's not shiny or fancy, it's just plastic and wires, but Jake knows it's special. He's got a plan for it, a sneaky little plan he's keeping to himself. He's not telling anyone, not the neighbors, not the mailman, nobody. Every time he looks at it, he gets this tiny grin like he's holding a secret only he understands. What's he up to? Why is he so calm about it? You're probably wondering that right now, aren't you? Good, that's exactly what I want you to do, wonder and wait, because the fun's just getting started. Back to the neighborhood. It's still that sunny afternoon and Jake's finishing up outside. He wipes his hands on his jeans, grabs a glass of water and sits on his porch. The birds are still chirping, the sun's still shining, and everything feels perfect. He doesn't see Karen watching him. He doesn't hear her muttering about rules. He's just happy to be here in his new home with his little smart plug twinkling away. But that peace isn't going to last. Nope, not with Karen around. She's already planning her next move, and it's going to be a big one. She's going to try to stop Jake, to tell him he can't have that plug, that he's breaking the rules. She thinks she's the queen of Maple Lane, and nobody can argue with her. But here's the thing, Jake's not scared. Not even a little. Why? Because he's got that trick up his sleeve and it's bigger than Karen can imagine. She's about to pick a fight with the wrong guy and she doesn't even know it yet. Picture her stomping over to his house soon, all huffy and puffy, ready to boss him around. Picture Jake just smiling, nodding, acting like nothing's wrong. It's going to be so good when it all comes crashing down on her. But we're not there yet. We're still at the beginning, setting it all up, getting you ready for the wild ride ahead. So what do you think so far? Can you feel it building? That little tingle of excitement, like when you're waiting for a surprise, that's what Jake's feeling too. He's sitting there, sipping his water, watching the street, knowing something big is coming. And you're right here with him, waiting to see what happens next. Don't go anywhere, because this story about to get even better. Jake's smart plug is small, but it's mighty. It's going to flip this neighborhood upside down, and Karen's going to wish she'd never messed with the new kid on the block. Stick around, I promise you won't be sorry. Here comes Karen, not just any Karen, oh no, she's the HOA Karen. That means she's the boss of this neighborhood, or at least she thinks she is. HOA stands for Homeowners Association, and it's a group that makes rules for everyone who lives here. Karen loves those rules more than anything. She's like the queen of Maple Lane, walking around with her head held high and her clipboard in her hand. That clipboard is her weapon. She uses it to write down every little thing she doesn't like. She's always snooping, peeking over fences, checking yards, and barking at people when they mess up. Your grass is too long, she'll yell. Your mailbox is the wrong color, she'll snap. Nobody escapes her sharp eyes or her loud voice. Poor Jake didn't know what he was walking into. He's the new guy, remember? He just moved in with his boxes and his friendly smile, trying to make his little house feel like home. He's outside, plugging in that smart plug we talked about. It's a tiny gadget, just a white box that lets him turn his outdoor lights on and off with his phone. The lights twinkle on pretty little dots of yellow glowing in the sunshine. Jake likes it. It's simple, it's cool, and it makes his porch look nice. But then Karen sees it. Oh boy, does she see it. The second her eyes land on that smart plug, she flips out like someone flipped a switch in her head. You can't have that, she screeches. Her voice is so loud it makes the birds stop chirping for a second. She's pointing at the smart plug like it's a big, scary monster or a crime scene from a movie. That's against the rules, she yells, waving her clipboard in the air. Jake freezes. He's standing there on his porch, one hand still holding the plug's cord, the other scratching his head. He blinks at her, confused. It's just a smart plug, he says, nice and calm. It turns the lights on and off. No big deal. He even smiles a little, thinking maybe she'll chill out if he explains it. But Karen, nope, she's not having it, not even a little bit. Her face turns red, her eyes get big, and she shakes her head so hard her hair flops around. No big deal, she shouts. This is a neighborhood with standards. We don't allow weird gadgets like that. I'm calling 911. Jake's jaw drops. 911, that's the number you call for emergencies, like if your house is on fire or someone's hurt. And she's calling it over a tiny plug. He tries to talk again. Wait, it's harmless, he says. It's just for lights. But Karen's already done listening. She spins around, her shoes stomping the ground, and storms off across the street to her house. Her phone's in her hand, pressed to her ear, and she's talking fast. Yes, hello 911, there's a man breaking the rules with some dangerous device, she says, loud enough for Jake to hear. Jake just stands there watching her go. He's still holding the cord and those lights are still twinkling behind him. Any other guy might be mad or scared. I mean, who wouldn't be? Karen's calling the police on him over something so small. But Jake, he's not worried, not one bit. He doesn't yell back. He doesn't chase after her. He just tilts his head, scratches his chin, and lets out a little huh. Then he shrugs like it's no big deal at all. Why isn't he freaking out? Why isn't he mad? Oh, you'll see soon. There's something about Jake that Karen doesn't know, something big, and it's going to make her wish she'd left him alone. Let's picture Karen for a minute. She's tall and skinny, with hair that's always tied up tight in a bun. She wears bright shirts and big sunglasses even when it's cloudy. She's got this look on her face all the time, like she's sniffing something bad. That's how she walks around Maple Lane, like she owns every house, every tree, every blade of grass. The neighbors know her too well. They roll their eyes when she's not looking. "There goes Karen again," they whisper. She's always finding something to complain about. Last week, she told Mr. Johnson his dog's barking was too loud. The week before, she said Mrs. Lee's flowers were too messy. Everyone tries to stay out of her way, but Jake's knew. He didn't get the memo. Back to that moment on the porch. Karen's gone now, inside her house across the street, still on the phone with 911. Jake can see her through her window, packing back and forth, waving her arms like she's in a big fight. He shakes his head and sits down on his porch steps, the smart plug still plugged in, the lights still glowing. He pulls out his phone, taps it a few times, and the lights blink off, then on again. He grins. He likes playing with it. It's fun, but Karen, she's not playing. She's serious. She thinks that little plug is some kind of danger, some kind of rule-breaking disaster. She's sure she's right, like always. She's sure Jake's in big trouble now. What Karen doesn't know is that Jake's not scared of her. He's not scared of her clipboard, her rules, or even her call to 911. He's calm as a cucumber, just sitting there, sipping water from a glass he grabbed inside. Why? Because Jake got a secret. It's not just the smart plug, though that's part of it. It's something bigger, something sneakier. Karen thinks she's the queen, the one who gets to boss everyone around. But Jake, about to show her she's not as powerful as she thinks. She's picking a fight with the wrong guy, and she doesn't even see it yet. The air feels thicker now, doesn't it? Like something building up. That's the tension, Karen versus Jake. She's loud and pushy, stomping around like she owns the world. He's quiet and chill, just watching her make a fuss. She thinks she's winning already, that her call to 911 will scare Jake into taking down his smart plug and following her rules. But every step she takes, every word she yells, is pulling her closer to a big surprise. Jake not arguing, he's not fighting back. He's just waiting, and that makes it even more exciting, doesn't it? What's he waiting for? What's his plan? You're probably itching to know, and that's good, because this is where the story starts to heat up. Karen's about to learn a lesson and Jake about to teach it. Stick around, you won't want to miss what's next. Days went by and Karen didn't calm down, not even a little. She was like a storm cloud that wouldn't go away, always grumpy and ready to rain on Jake's parade. Every morning, she'd march past his house, her shoes clicking on the sidewalk. Her eyes would lock onto that smart plug, the little white box Jake had plugged in to power his outdoor lights. She'd glare at it like it had insulted her, like it called her a mean name or stole her favorite snack. That plug was her enemy now, and she wasn't going to let it stay. Nope, not on her watch. She was the HOA queen after all, and queens don't lose fights. One day, Karen went even further. She wrote a nasty note on a piece of paper, her pen scratching so hard it almost tore through. The note said, "Take it down or else," in big angry letters. She stomped over to Jake's house, slapped some tape on it, and stuck it right on his front door. Then she turned around and marched back home, her nose in the air, feeling like she'd won already. She thought Jake would see the note, get scared, and rip that smart plug out of the wall faster than you can say rules. But Jake, he didn't do that, not even close. When Jake found the note, he just stood there on his porch reading it. He tilted his head, scratched his chin, and let out a little chuckle. A chuckle, can you believe it? Most people would be mad or worried if someone taped a mean note to their door, but Jake wasn't. He folded the paper, tucked it in his pocket, and looked across the street at Karen's house. She was peeking out her window, watching him, waiting for him to freak out. But instead, Jake smiled. He gave her a friendly wave, like he was saying, "Hey, nice day, isn't it?" That made Karen so mad her face turned as red as a tomato. She yanked her curtains shut and disappeared inside, probably muttering about how Jake was ruining everything. Now you're probably wondering, what's Jake up to? Why's he so calm? Why isn't he fighting back? Well, here's the thing. Jake wasn't just some quiet new guy who moved to Maple Lane to live a boring life. Oh no, he was watching Karen too, not in a creepy way but in a smart way. He noticed things about her, little things that most people missed. Like how she'd sneak around the neighborhood at night when she thought no one was awake. She'd tiptoe through yards, shining a flashlight, checking for anything that broke her precious HOA rules. One time, Jake saw her measuring someone's grass with a ruler at midnight. Who does that? Karen, that's who. He also saw how she treated other people. She wasn't just mean to him, she was mean to everyone. She'd yell at kids for riding their bikes too fast or kicking a ball too close to her house. "Stop that noise," she'd shout, waving her clipboard like a sword. The kids would run away, scared, and Karen would smirk like she'd won a prize. Jake didn't like that. He didn't say anything, but he kept watching, keeping track of every little thing she did. It was like he was collecting puzzle pieces, waiting for the right moment to put them all together. Then something really weird happened. One day Jake was outside, sitting on his porch, messing with his smart plug. He liked to tap his phone and make the lights blink on and off. It was fun, like a game. While he was sitting there, he noticed a police car driving down Maple Lane. It wasn't speeding or flashing its lights, just rolling along nice and slow. Jake watched as it passed his house and then slowed down right in front of Karen. The car stopped for a second, like the cops were looking at something. Jake raised an eyebrow but didn't move. He just kept tapping his phone, making those lights flicker. The car drove off after a bit and everything went back to normal, or so it seemed. A couple of days later, it happened again. Another police car came by and guess what? It slowed down at Karen's house again. This time, Jake was watering his flowers when he saw it. He turned off the hose and leaned against his porch, watching closely. The car sat there for a minute, then moved on. Jake didn't say a word. He didn't run over to ask what was going on. He just went back to watering his flowers, humming a little tune. But inside his head, he was thinking hard. Something was up, and he had a feeling it had to do with Karen. What was it? He wasn't telling anyone, not yet. Karen, though, she didn't notice the police cars. She was too busy being mad at Jake and his smart plug. Every time she walked by his house, she'd huff and puff, muttering about how he was breaking the rules and how she'd make him sorry. She thought she was winning. She thought Jake was scared of her notes and her yelling and her calls to 911. She thought she had all the power, like a queen sitting on a throne. But every step she took, every mean word she said, was digging her into a deeper hole. And Jake, he was letting her do it. He wasn't arguing or yelling back. He was just smiling, waving, and tinkering with that little plug. Why? Because he knew something Karen didn't, something big, something that was going to turn everything upside down. Can you feel it, the excitement building? It's like waiting for a balloon to pop. You know it's coming, but you don't know when. Jake got a secret, and it's not just that he's good at staying calm. He's been watching Karen collecting those puzzle pieces, and now he's starting to put them together. Those police cars, they're a clue. They mean something going on with Karen, something she doesn't want anyone to know. But Jake knows, or at least he's starting to figure it out. And that smart plug. It's not just for lights, it's part of his plan, a sneaky little piece of the puzzle that's going to make Karen wish she'd left him alone. What do you think Jake knows? Can you guess what's making him so calm while Karen's losing her mind? Don't worry if you don't have it yet, we're getting closer. The story's heating up, and every little thing Jake does is leading to something huge. Karen's digging her hole deeper and deeper, and Jake, just waiting for the perfect moment to show her she's not the queen she thinks she is. Hang on tight, because we're almost to the part where it all comes crashing down. Okay, this is where it gets really, really good. Picture this, it's a bright morning, the sun is shining, and Jake, outside on his porch. He's holding a mug of coffee, sipping it slow and easy, just enjoying the day. Across the street, Karen's had enough. She's done waiting for Jake to take down that smart plug, the little gadget he uses to turn his lights on and off. She's been mad about it for days, stomping around, leaving notes, and glaring at it like it's the worst thing she's ever seen. But this morning, she's over it. She's going to end this once and for all. Karen grabs her phone off her kitchen table. Her hands are shaking because she's so worked up. She dials 911, yep, the emergency number, and starts yelling the second someone answers. There's a guy breaking the law, she shouts, her voice loud and squeaky. He's got this illegal smart plug thing, it's dangerous, send someone now. She's packing back and forth in her house, waving her arms like she's trying to scare off a flock of birds. She thinks she's finally got Jake. She thinks the police are going to come, see that plug, and drag him away for breaking her precious HOA rules. She's smirking already, imagining how she'll wave goodbye as he's hauled off. Meanwhile, Jake's just chilling. He's sitting on his porch steps, coffee in hand, watching a squirrel run across the yard. He hears Karen yelling through her open window, but he doesn't even flinch. He takes another sip, calm as can be, like he's watching a boring TV show. Most people would be nervous if someone called the cops on them, right? They jump up, run inside, or start yelling back. But not Jake, he's cool as a cucumber. Why? Oh, you're about to find out, and it's going to be awesome. A few minutes pass, tick-tock, and then it happens. Sirens start blaring in the distance. Woo, woo, woo. They're getting louder, closer, and fast. Karen hears them too. She runs to her window, peeking out, her eyes wide with excitement. They're coming for him, she mutters, rubbing her hands together. A police car zooms down Maple Lane, tires screeching as it turns the corner. Jake looks up from his coffee, watching it come. The car's lights are flashing red and blue, and it's moving fast. Karen's practically bouncing now, thinking she's won. But then, surprise, the police car doesn't stop at Jake's house. Nope, it keeps going right past his porch and pulls into Karen's driveway instead. The tires crunch on the gravel and the car stops with a jolt. Karen's jaw drops. Her mouth hangs open like a fish out of water. She blinks, shakes her head, and blinks again. "What?" she whispers to herself, pressing her face against the window. Jake sets his coffee down and leans back, a tiny grin on his face. He's not surprised at all. The two cops hop out of the car. They're big guys with serious faces, wearing dark uniforms and shiny badges. One of them walks up to Karen's door and knocks. Bam, bam, bam. Karen stumbles back from the window, her phone still in her hand. She's confused, scared, and starting to sweat. She opens the door, her voice shaky. Hi, officers," she says. "Did you get my call about that guy?" She points at Jake, who's just sitting there watching like it's a movie. The cop doesn't even look at Jake. He stares right at Karen and says, "Ma'am, we've been trying to reach you. You've got some explaining to do." Karen's eyes go wide. "Me?" she squeaks. "What do you mean me? I called you. It's him. He's the one breaking the law." She's pointing at Jake again, her finger trembling, but the cop shakes his head. "No, ma'am," he says. "This isn't about him. It's about you." Karen's face goes pale. Her knees wobble like jelly. Across the street, Jake's grin gets a little bigger. He picks up his coffee again, takes a sip, and waits. The neighbors start peeking out now too. Curtains move, doors crack open. Everyone wants to know what's happening. And here, where it gets really good, the cop pulls out a little notebook and starts talking. "We've got reports of someone dumping trash in the neighborhood creek," he says. "Been going on for months. We've got proof, pictures, videos, everything. And it all points to you, ma'am." Karen's mouth flaps open and shut, but no words come out. She's caught, and she knows it. The creek's this little stream that runs behind the houses, a pretty spot where kids play and ducks swim. Dumping trash there, that's a big no-no. It's against the real rules, not just HOA stuff, but actual laws. And Karen's been doing it. Whoa, the neighbors gasp. Someone whispers, "I knew she was trouble." But here's the best part, Jake knew. He knew all along. See, Jake wasn't just some random guy who moved to Maple Lane. He worked for the city. Yep, the city, like the people who run the roads, the parks, and make sure everything's safe. His job was to watch for people breaking rules, real rules that matter. And that smart plug, it wasn't just for lights. Oh no, it was part of a sneaky system he set up. He hooked it to a tiny camera so small you never see it, hidden in his yard. That camera watched the creek day and night, catching everything on video. And guess who it caught? Karen, sneaking out at night, tossing bags of trash into the water, thinking no one would ever know. Jake had seen it all. He'd watched the videos on his phone, saving them up, waiting for the right time. Those police cars that drove by earlier, they were checking things out because Jake had told them what was going on. He didn't call 911 like Karen did. He went straight to the cops with proof. And now here they were, standing in her driveway ready to bust her. Karen thought she was smart, calling the police on Jake over a silly plug. But Jake was smarter, way smarter. Karen stammers, trying to talk her way out. I don't know what you're talking about," she says, her voice high and squeaky. "That's not me, you've got the wrong person." But the cop flips open his notebook and shows her a picture clear as day. There's Karen standing by the creek with a trash bag in her hand. She's done for. The neighbors are all watching now, whispering and pointing. Jake just sits there, sipping his coffee, looking like he knew this was coming all along. And he did. He'd been waiting for this moment, calm and quiet, while Karen dug her own hole. This is it, the big reveal. Jake's not just the new guy. He's the hero who